You're watching NappyCast by Jason Nappy. Weather summer pattern around the corner, but first, more weekend rain in the northeast. You have severe weather going on in the south. Look at those clouds over Texas right now. Clear in Florida. We're going to heat up to the south here. Satellite picture as I widen out and zoom out and show you that all that cloud cover down over Texas, the mid-south, the Gulf Coast. And we've got some cold fronts that are going to be coming down from the north here in New England. Cold fronts are coming through. Watch out for some frost in Maine. Yes, northern Maine tonight. We're still talking about frost here this time of the year. It's the middle of June, but this is typical. This is Maine. Here's your driver of that system. Is a low pressure system way up in Canada. Here's your front. Here's your front, right? So those fronts are going to come through, bring the humidity down tonight in the northeast here. You see you've got your stationary front here, stationary front here. So the heat and humidity will build to the south for sure in the next couple of days. I'll talk about that and really getting into a more of a summer pattern later next week. It's the following, the end of June, just in time for the solstice and just after. But first, we've got fronts coming through here, right? So here's one front, two front, high pressure system. So up in the Katahdin region north, some frost up in Maine. Notice here you've got showers, thunderstorms, Ohio Valley popping up, Gulf Coast over towards Florida, and very hot and dry desert southwest. Okay, they are going to cook. Is typical in the desert southwest this time of the year. Full on summer for them. Now let's talk about the pattern here going forward. So this is going to be Thursday into Friday. Watch here. You've got a little dip in the jet stream. Here's your trough that's coming through, right? So there's their cooler weather up in the northeast. Got a little system here over towards the mid-south. But watch how this is all going to fade away into the next few days. And we are going to get more of a summer look to things. First, you got a big ridge out west on Sunday. Okay. Big ridge desert southwest. Upper Midwest is going to crank up. Still a little bit of implications here of a trough that's well up over Canada. That system I showed you in Canada is going to intensify that trough, okay? So that's going to stay there for a little while, and that's why you see the ridge amplifying over the desert southwest. I want to point you to June 18th. You see here, very warm over the east here. You've got a ridge that's setting up down here, okay? So the northeast, the mid-Atlantic will get quite warm around the June 18th time frame. And then when I go out a little bit farther here, and then watch what happens here. This is a little bit more of a classic June 24th setup of a ridge of heat and humidity that's basically moving around that ridge here. The jet stream is up to the north, okay? So there's not a lot of cool air coming down to the south. It's basically been cut off. You get a ridge to build, and that is going to mean much more of a summer pattern. And just in time, the solstice is on Friday, so it'll be just in time. And notice here, long range, we do have a ridge holding. Okay, that's been the missing kind of theme the last few weeks. We haven't had a ridge hold. So that means temperatures are going to really crank up once we get into that ridge especially. So let's go out into June a bit, and notice here, for the middle to latter part of June, you have plenty of heat that's coming up from the south here. Notice here, the jet stream is all the way up in Canada, so it will be cool well up in Canada, well up north of Ontario, and south of that, it's warm. It's also going to be humid. Here's a look at the dew point. The dew point is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Anytime you see these oranges, okay, that's dew points well in the 70s. So the typical places you'd expect it to be quite humid. Now, this model here is showing a few fronts coming through. We'll see if that happens or not. But regardless, you have dew points surging here well into the 60s and especially the 70s, even some 80s popping up. Now, obviously, the Rocky Mountains will be extremely low as far as dew points. They almost never see humidity surge out there. But you definitely have in the eastern two-thirds of the country, look, just as we'll go back and forth with the loop here, a lot of humidity, which is typical. It's summer. It's supposed to be humid. Now, focusing on New England just a bit, see here, cloud cover, but there's also some smoke in here. So it's upper level smoke. It's not going to be at ground level. but there definitely will be smoke in the make the sky look on the milky side. Here's right here where the front, that's the first front to come through, and then we got more coming through with that dry air. So the smoke does clear out by tomorrow in the forecast. So there will be no more smoke up in New England and Maine tomorrow. Let's focus now a little bit more detail on my loyal followers in Maine. Thank you for following, subscribing, for all the good stuff here. Let's talk about it. Now, warm with smoke to the north. Cold front moves through today. Weekend showers again. It's now rained or snowed every weekend since mid-March in New England or Northeast. Someone has gotten rain. So we are stuck in that pattern. Now, you're seeing right now the sky's already appearing milky in Portland, Lewis, and Auburn, where you have that wildfire smoke that is moving through. It's a lot thicker up in the county, but there are also more clouds up in the county. So in the mountains next 10 days, an isolated pop-up thunderstorm, especially up in the county today. Partly cloudy. We cool off for the weekend. There will be the showers. I've kept them out of the mountains forecast. I think the rain is far enough south that we're dry. And then a few showers next week, and we start to see some of that heat, some of that humidity around that ridge. Here it comes next week with those 70s near 80. Now, inland, it is going to be 80 today, mostly sunny, and then here come a few showers Saturday. Now, if you are basically Augusta south, best opportunity for showers early on Saturday, and then Sunday. It's not going to be a completely dry day, but I'm going to go more clouds than sun, okay? Father's Day. And then next week, some showers, and we'll see if the thunderstorms make it in by Thursday as that ridge. We're going to get a piece of that ridge, a piece of that heat and humidity to come our way. Coastline, 82 today. You got a land breeze, so until the sea breeze kicks up, and really it's more the fact that you've got multiple cold fronts that keep that sea breeze off the coast and keeps it right on the immediate coastline. So today the coast will be the warmest it's going to be for a while because of that. Once we go on shore with that breeze Friday, Saturday, Sunday, notice here we're back in the 60s into Monday, and then a few showers, a run for 80 late next week. That's when we'll get our next piece of heat and humidity. It's going to be late next week, but it'll take some time to build. Thank you for watching. NappyCast.com for the latest.